Welcome back to the Pedal Progressions podcast, Bentonville recaps. We missed one yesterday because we rode from about 8 a.m. in the morning until 10:30 at night and then came back and passed out. So we forgot to do it. But we rode a whole bunch of crap yesterday.
Yes, we did.
A lot of crap.
I don't even remember what we rode.
I had a really hard time remembering where we went first. It felt like 2 days ago.
Yeah, we started the day at Huntley thinking that we were going to have thunderstorms all day tomorrow, or all day yesterday. And they never came, so we just kept cramming as much riding as we could into the day. So we went out and did some jump laps and did some filming at Huntley, which, Nick, it was your first time. What do you think of Huntley?
I thought it was fun. I thought the jump line was good. Everything was super smooth. I liked I don't know the name of that black trail next to it, but
Invasion.
I liked that trail. I wish it was just longer.
Yeah.
But that's like, for me personally, that's like the common theme with me with a lot of the trails in Bentonville is like, I just want it to be like a 1,500-foot descent. But
I thought it was just wishing stuff was longer.
sure, that too.
It's kind of like double-edged because, like, air raid, I love air raid, and it's kind of long. But I don't really love pedaling all the way back up each time.
Is that the other side?
That's the bigger jump line. No, that's the biggest jump line that we rode with the big tables in it.
Oh,
that we did
yeah.
a bunch of times. Like
Yeah.
that's like right on the borderline of I don't want to ride back up to just do laps.
Well,
of.
yeah. I mean, if I was somewhere that's 1,000+ feet, there's going to be a ski lift or a shuttle involved, so it negates that part of it. But yeah, I thought that place was fun. I liked it.
I like the videos we got on the step on, step off.
That was cool.
It was fun.
Nice little spot.
So then after Huntley, we went over to Wonderland. Is that what it was, Brian? Wonderland?
Yes.
That was fun. Bit of a climb there, but
Yeah.
cool, like, abandoned trailer thing that was like the hub at the top, and you rode out of the trailer. There was a super high-speed paved trail up there that kind of surprised me, and it was fast.
Yeah.
It was really fast.
Yeah, the RVs, that trail is worth the RV trip, in my opinion. It's pretty low-key, but it's fast.
Mm-hmm.
You can get pretty sideways on some of them turns.
Definitely seems like an area that a lot of people don't probably end up out around there.
Yeah.
Rolling through the trailer park.
Yeah, like it just kind of seems like a
I kind of like the shelf rocks on the ride out too. I think are kind of
yeah, that
deceivingly
looks
cool.
Yeah.
It has definitely cool scenery, just overhang rocks and all that.
Yeah,
Sally's Trail.
Riding like the bench cut, getting into all those jumps is super fun,
Mhm.
and it just looks cool.
But yeah, and they had some cool advanced trails. They have some cool wooden drops, bridges, and some jumps that were.
That was Mad Hatter. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that trail was fun. That Mad Hatter jump was a good one to get reacquainted with, like, lippy wooden takeoffs.
I cramped trying to push my bike up too many times, and they all laughed at me. I just sat on the ground for a while and watched them ride.
I forgot about that.
That thing's deceiving because that ramp does not hit like it's steep. It hits pretty mellow.
It looks very much like it is steep. It
Yeah.
looks like it's a wall when you're riding into it.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, I like that stuff. And there was a kind of a rock roll slab kind of on the climbing trail that we messed around on a bit too. That we got some good videos. It was fun.
Yeah, that slab thing was pretty cool.
Then we went to Bikefest, walked around awkwardly.
I bought
Bike
some
Fest
bike
was cool.
lube.
Yep. Muck Off got a lot of money from all of us. If you haven't tried Muck Off stuff, free plug. It's better than you think.
I don't know, dude. All that stuff would come leaking out of my tire today.
That looked like orange steel. It was like white.
That was muck off for sure.
This is gonna sound crazy, but orange is orange.
Yeah. Yes, it is. No, that's muck off in those tires.
You saw how
Very
well
quiet.
you
I'm
saw
trying
how
not
well
to be.
Muck-Off worked today, firsthand.
Yeah.
That's a story for in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a Bikefest. Then we went to Kohler and rode Kohler.
Yeah, I was dead at that point. I was just like, I hit those top jumps once, and I'm like, yep. I'm just like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to do anything more because I can't think anymore, and I just I was spent at that point.
That's the hard part about riding so much in one day. It's like you want to commit to stuff, but it's like, yeah, I'm exhausted and I don't want to try to do something and then fall because I'm too tired.
Yeah, you're
It's
pretty
kind of
much
annoying.
just going off stoke fumes. That's how I was. Kohler's Kohler, though. Like, that place was probably my favorite spot last year. There's so much there. It's not disappointing this year. There's even more. Some of it's huge, even bigger and scary.
A lot less trees.
Yeah, a lot less trees. It almost looks unrecognizable in some spots.
Yeah,
on
it's
that
weird
climb.
that you can just see other trails, like when you're pedaling up.
Mm-hmm. And in some ways helpful, but also it's like, geez, this whole area just got knocked over.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, did that and then came home and realized Nick had to go to the mall, to the van store that doesn't exist.
Yes, that was a fun trip.
He is now a VIP member for
DSW. Yeah, DSW. I got 25% off, so that was cool.
Yeah, we went to JJ's, got food, went to the rail yard, rode until Kyle's collapsed on the ground.
Yeah, Kyle was the second cramper of the day.
To be fair, though, I think that was our last run anyway. We were kind of on our way out. Maybe my legs were just...
Well, just before that, Brian was like, "Oh yeah, I think we're leaving," and then you guys like went and rode down whatever, and then it was like a few minutes until you guys came back up.
Oh, yeah.
That's because Kyle was crawling on his knees,
Yeah.
pushing his bike from his knees, full of cramp. He's like, "No, wait up, guys, wait up."
And neither of us thought to like pull our phones out and like get video of it until it was like, I mean, I think we did get a little bit, but not
Yeah.
as much as we
We were
should have.
Not the good stuff.
We were too busy making fun of them to think to pull our phones out.
Hey, I thought my legs are going to cramp, that couldn't have happened at a better time. I mean, to be fair, it was like, what, 10:45?
It was 10:30.
Yeah. Okay.
10:30 at night.
8 to 10:40. I'm glad I made it that far. Shout out to Element. I haven't ever tried that stuff, but that powdered electrolyte drink mix seems to do the trick. I also ate like 3 bananas, so maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, what a day. Pretty crazy. I can't wait to make that day edit. That's going to be wild.
Then thunderstorms last night / this morning. Bikefest was delayed. Nick had a gravel race that was delayed, and we watched Joe Dirt this morning and Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood in South Central LA. Good movies if you like old school humor.
Yeah, we waited out the rain with watching a couple movies. Yeah, Nick took off for his race. You want to tell us about your race, Nick? How it went?
Sure. I don't know, how much details do you want?
Tell us the highlights.
You want the play-by-play? It was a little chilly at the start, I guess, but by the time I left the house, it was done raining. So I mean that was good.
Just for the people that don't know, you did the gravel race, right?
Oh yes, so I did the 30-mile gravel race today.
Redemption, because you did
Yeah.
better than you thought last year with no expectations.
Yeah, so I got third last year, and then but yeah, it was kind of greasy at the start. Like you ride a bunch of paved stuff on the way out, but as soon as we got in the gravel, it was like kind of soft and wet, and so it got pretty muddy at the beginning. But after just a few miles, it was dry and it was fine. But yeah, in the beginning on one of those paved roads, I'm at the back of the lead group, and somebody like 2 guys ahead of me like locks up their brakes for I don't know why, and I mean back wheel came off the ground, and I was like, what on earth is going on? And I hear somebody laughing behind me, and it was Matty Kramer, and like I'm talking to him about it for a second, and then him and I rode together for a bit, and there's like this first punchy climb, like it's pretty short but it's really steep. And he passed me on that, and then I was like, all right, well, now I'll try to just hop onto his wheel and draft him, but he just rode away, and I was like, yeah, I got nothing. And,
For the people that don't know, Matty Kramer's a pro BMX rider. He beat you last year, right?
Yeah, so yeah, last year I got third, he got first. But yeah, pro BMXer, Scotty Kramer's younger brother, famous YouTube guy. And then, he rode away from me, and I was like, well, he's probably just going to win it again, whatever, And then I was kind of by myself for a bit, and then I rode with this, 17-year-old kid for, the last, half of the race or more. And, we were riding together the whole way. There was the last tough climb. Some lady came absolutely flying past us. Like didn't hear her coming, nothing. Just like we were standing still, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess she's got legs. And she went flying way ahead of us, and then we were just riding together for a while. And then the last bit, there was a ton of crosswind, and eventually we caught back up to that lady, past her, and then a few other people. I finished, and then it was like a few minutes later, Matty Kramer ends up coming through the finish line, and I was kind of like, well, how on earth did that happen? And I was talking to him afterwards, and he missed the turn for the 30-mile route and was riding with a bunch of 60-mile people. And then he like asked, he's like, hey, like, where's the road for the 30-mile? And they're like, oh, it's a mile and a half back that way. And so he did like 3 extra miles. I'm like, okay, that makes a lot more sense now, I guess. So rightfully, he should have won that race, but yeah, so I ended up getting first in the age group, and I was 5th overall. So that's
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats is good.
Pretty sweet.
yeah. I won a free pie,
What kind of pie?
pecan.
Pecan pie.
It'd be his first one ever.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys just want to eat it, like I have no desire to even really try
You gotta
it.
try it.
Might take
I'm
you
not a
up
big
on that.
pie guy in general.
It's
Maybe if it was
victory
a la
pie.
mode, but I don't know.
Would you pie or cake? What's
I'm not a big cake guy either. Well, I don't like frosting very much because it's usually way too sweet.
Hey, you know what doesn't have frosting? Pie.
Yeah, I know.
I'm more of a pie than cake. What about you?
I'm more cake than pie.
I don't know, like hot apple pie, like with ice cream, that's super good.
Have you ever heard of the Neanderthals that put cheese on apple pie?
That sounds like something my grandpa would have done or something.
Like they put a slice of American cheese, like a Kraft single, on
it's all the processing that makes it good, you know.
If I
Sounds
won a
gross.
pie, I'd probably eat it.
Well, dude, I was bummed because so they're just like, you go up there, they give you the medal or whatever, you stand on the box or whatever, and then you walk off, they just hand you a pie. And I probably should have just said something because they just had like these boxes full of pies, and they just hand me the pie. I see it's, whatever flavor, and I'm just gonna take it, whatever. But like I just like glance at the boxes, and it's like all the other flavors. I'm like, dude, there's like 3 other flavors in there I'd rather have, but whatever. I'm not.
Only winners get pecan pie, though.
Yeah.
Someone in Georgia's like, it's pecan.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's how the gravel race went. I came home afterwards, took a shower, laid on the couch for an hour, and drank a beer, and then, yeah, went back to do the whole podium thing afterwards.
Our afternoon was quite a bit different than yours. You were busy winning things. Other Nick wanted to do an epic cross-country ride, and so we made up a route on the Sugar Loop side to see waterfalls and go to the beach. I mean, realistically, it was just an excuse for us to play on some kids' zip line thing.
Absolutely.
And then there was some hilarity involved, I would say. Kyle almost lost his drone twice. Once for trying to go too far because I told him something was closer than it was.
That's right. They filmed the water tower. Where is it? It's 8 miles that way. Oh, jeez. You mean this little speck on my screen? I'll try. Okay. Oh. Signal lost.
Yeah, Kyle lost signal, and you could see the panic in his face. And as he was doing that, I helped by saying, "Hey, Kyle, if you press this button, he'll give you tips on how to fly that thing."
There's 3 of us standing over his shoulder asking him questions that he doesn't want to talk.
He's just sweating.
Well, I'm like, I know there's a return to home button, and I've never had to use it on this drone. I know it's there, but there's one on the screen, on your phone screen, because your phone's plugged into the remote, and then there's a button on the remote, like a hard copy version, I guess. So I hit that, I think, and it beeped. I'm like, it beeped. Must have understood it. And then eventually, yeah, the screen popped up with it coming back towards us. I'm like, okay, good, because
How does it boost that command to farther? Like,
I
if you
don't know.
lose all signal to the drone, how do you then tell it to come back?
I think of it like a quarterback throwing a Hail Mary. Your catch. It just throws a signal out there, pings it, comes back.
You'd think they just automatically turn around and come home. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
like-
Yeah,
I got
right?
nothing. I
I
better
thought
go
that
home.
too. I better come back.
I thought they normally did that. Like if they just lose signal, that's like the default.
I hope they do.
I think
'cause-
that's what the default is that they will just go back to the wherever they took off from.
You should ask the drone that he lost in Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't think it was set to that.
So the drone I had, it was like the drone itself, not any of the stuff with it, like the battery or anything. It was the guy was telling me it was a replacement because he just like lost it in Lake Michigan or something. And he was like, yeah, it just like ended up in the lake somehow, and I was able to just get a new one from DJI because it was some issue or something. So
Huh.
it's like, oh, weird. All right.
The one I lost in Tennessee was a hand-me-down. I did a video for my brother-in-law. He's a big snowmobiler, so I put together a video of all his GoPro stuff. And in return, I got that drone. And that was kind of like my intro to droning, I guess. And, yeah, we went to Windrock and lost it. And it was like, dang it. Well, I got to get another one because that drone's just way too useful. But, yeah, luckily we got that back. But then we almost lost it on the way to the trailhead.
We had
But
a
not
really
like-
good idea that we've never got a drone shot of like driving to the trail with the bikes on the tailgate pad.
Yeah, like a drone follow shot on down the road.
Uh-huh.
And we probably should have done it on like a 15-mile-per-hour like residential road, but that's not what we did.
Nope. Instead, we held a hand out the window and launched it from the car.
Were you guys on the interstate?
That was a 45-mile. It was the busiest road in Bella Vista.
Yeah, we got to a stop sign. We're like, quick, launch it. And he just held his hand out the window and let it launch. And then,
There's cars waiting to
yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
So the
Gasoline.
so the drone took off. And he's like, oh, go, go, go. So he took off. And then, yeah, as he, so
He's
we
like,
started
"Slow
going.
down."
He's like,
I'm going 17.
yeah, yeah. And there's a bunch of trees overhanging. He's like, oh, tree, power line. And he's trying to dodge and avoid this. And he was like, dropped low and avoid us signal. So we're like, Jeep, pull up.
Well, I'm looking.
Jeep comes like head on to the thing. And
I'm looking out the back window of the truck and I'm seeing this drone flying, completely straight, super level, and then I just hear, "Oh my God, a car!" or whatever was said, and then the way that the drone jerked the other way was, I don't know, it was very funny.
I was freaking out. Well,
We were all dying.
I should have told you, like, all right, hey, this thing only tops out at like 20 miles an hour if I'm like in sport mode. Otherwise, there's a cinematic mode, which is really slow, really stable, and then there's normal or whatever. So I had it in normal, I'm thinking that we're just going to be on some like podunk country road pulling into some trailhead that no one's at. No, dude, it's like the middle of a town, 55 miles an hour. There's like storefront buildings everywhere. Like you said, there's cars waiting behind us, telephone wires, trees overhanging, oncoming traffic. I got this thing pegged. I stop halfway, like after I make the turn. I see like telephone wires. I go down low, switch it to sport. I catch up. Cars are coming in the other direction. They're like, car. I'm like, ah! I scream. I don't know how we made it to the. Apparently, we just pulled into a bike store parking lot, though. That's where our trailhead was, and yeah, that was a disaster. I wish I would have like known where the place was, and I could have said like, I don't think it's gonna work. I thought it was gonna be some country road. We were gonna have the whole road to ourselves. We could just kind of putz, but I was wrong.
It was good entertainment.
it was. I didn't have any money in this situation, so it was hilarious for me.
It was a rush, dude.
I'm watching the cars on the road. We're going like less than 20 miles an hour now down this like major road.
To me, on the screen, it felt like 100, dude.
We've got we've got cars catching us from behind. Like I can only imagine what they're thinking, that there's like a drone at like eye windshield level, like coming down the road.
Oh, that was funny though. It got my heart pounding, ready to go for a nice 16-mile-an-hour ride.
Yeah, I rode
16-mile ride. Sorry.
16 miles, checked out some waterfalls. Waterfall we had in the video from last year that was raging, was still moving pretty good. It was cool to ride up on it from the other direction.
Yeah, it was a fun trail.
Couple punctures.
Yeah. So we talked about that muck off story, and I was riding, or Nick was riding behind me, and climbing a hill. And the next thing I hear Nick just go, ah! Like, what happened? He's like, your tire just shot something at me. So there's like something stabbed my tire, and it just like hit him in the chest of sealant.
In the face.
Yeah, right in the face of sealant. Well, muck off seals it quick, but he got a little spray in the face from it.
So I did see a flat today in the gravel race, and I don't know how there must have been something in the street because it was like on the way out of town, like paved road, and this dude to the left of me just like it's the most sealant I've ever seen spray out of a tire in my life. Like like his tires start spraying, and the guy next to him was like, "Hey, buddy, like you got a flat," and the dude just keeps pedaling along. Well, eventually he'll find out. But dude, immediately the whole back of that bike just completely white, like he hit it with spray paint. I'm like, dude, yeah, got a gallon of sealant in that thing, and it wasn't sealing.
Dang. Yeah, they probably don't need a whole lot of sealant if it's a.
He was running like
700
some
T
like
or
definitely
something.
like bigger tires, like small small as in like probably like 2.2s or something, like cross country tires or something. Versus like I'm running like 40s, which are a whole lot smaller, which is not very much sealant at all.
Yeah, we went and hung out at Bison Bikes up in Bella Vista for a minute. Talked to the owner.
Yep.
Super cool dude. Gave us some stickers to add to our microphone stuff. And then right next door to that, there's a little gym of a Mexican restaurant that's got real big margaritas that Nick and I indulged in while Kellen and Kyle laughed at us. We had a 44 ounce and 32 ounce, which is between the two of us half as much as Colton had a couple years ago on his own.
120 plus ounces.
But that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
No,
good
it was
meal.
a cool cross country ride. We had fun. The last couple climbs definitely put a hurt on me.
Then
Likewise.
Overall fun.
came back, rinsed off, changed bikes for those of us that were on cross country bikes. Went to Handcut Hollow, which is a favorite of a bunch of ours. They had redone Interplant Janet, and that was running really well. The jumps in the bottom seemed a lot more clearable than they had in the past, like
Yeah, it was running good.
almost overshooting towards the end.
Yeah, I appreciate that place is a little more natural than a lot of the other stuff around here. I mean, that's probably a personal preference thing, but yeah, I just like that there's more kind of just like normal existing type rock stuff along the trails and stuff.
And despite the cross-country ride we had earlier, the climb there is not that bad. For some reason, that route that we did earlier, those climbs were way worse. I think it was because of all the chunkiness. You just keep you're spinning your wheels over these rocks that just keep moving. I don't know.
It's like real loose.
Real
All
loose.
through Bella Vista.
It's like double the work. I don't know. This climb it's steep. I mean, you got to work to get up it, but for some reason it was way easier than
That's how
what
I
remember.
felt about like the gravel like race, is that like if I did like Barry-Roubaix similar distance, it's quite a bit less climbing, but like the gravel is just so much more loose, so it's just like you're always spinning a little bit when you're like going up the climbs, and it's just like, and here it's like you descend and you're going over 30, and then you got to slow way down for a corner and then go up, and so you just never have momentum, and it's just like just seems like way more work, even though it's like quite a bit less climbing than some of the stuff in Michigan.
Well, that's like what Brian was saying too. Is like, we've climbed the same elevation as what state game is, and what we're all already exhausted at that point. But it's like what we're riding over versus what we're riding at state game. It's just going to be a lot harder to get through that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
didn't
as
realize
quick.
that until we went to Handcut Hollow. I'm like, oh, it's because of the rocks, or why that was so hard. I wondered because it's like I'm not that out of shape.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Yeah, it's just loose rocks. You're just spinning your wheels. You're not, all that power you're putting into your pedals isn't going directly to the ground, putting you up. It's half spitting rocks out the back, and the
Yeah.
other half pushing
There's
you
also
up.
some of it is there were two people on cross country bikes.
Yeah, I
That
did not
does
have
start to wear on you, everyone else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason that you guys were feeling it more, and it's because we were on mid to low 20-pound XC bikes, and you were on a 160, 150 Sentinel.
Yeah.
And
But
Kellen was on a 160, 150 stump jumper.
There's something to be said though. Those switchbacks are gnarly, dude. Whatever that route was we took, they were just back forth, straight up, steep.
Got some
Yep.
cool videos in the little skills area, though.
Yeah.
Some rock stuff.
That
It's a fun
is
place.
cool. What was the name of that?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Skills Park.
Skills Park.
It's on the
Little
far
Sugar Skills
northeast
Park.
corner of Sugarloop.
Yeah, that place
little-
was neat. Really cool rock scenery around some of the features.
Yeah, just
It's worth checking out. It's
visually a lot of cool stuff to look at, and you'll be riding and then kind of look down, and you're riding on a cliff of looks like 100 feet down all the way down to like a little ravine. I'm like, oh, that's some exposure. That's kind of cool, just out of nowhere. But definitely cool stuff. To
Let me
look
put it this
at.
way: if I'm getting my senior pictures done, it's there.
Yeah, Hancock was fun. We went out and checked out where they're building the dirt jumps in the dirt jump park, and they are very large.
They were some of the most impressive things I've ever seen as far as like jump wise.
Like I've been to some pretty famous places. Like I've been to like Brian Foster's trails out on the East Coast and like Posh and Caddy and stuff, and this was bigger, and it was pretty wild looking.
Long too. You just
Yeah.
kept going.
Yeah, there were a lot of jumps in a row. They're doing an awesome job out there, and they've got plans to keep continuing it like for a while. Like, I don't know about you, but when I ride big jump sets like that at like the Garden or whatnot, I hold my breath a lot. And like one of the things of riding at like FTH, which is Brian Foster's Trails in New Jersey, I would be so out of breath by the bottom because I just end up holding my breath every time I take off, and I forget to breathe, and I get like lightheaded towards the bottom, and I can't imagine this set. Like, I mean, Kellen and Kyle got some pictures, and we were standing in front of these landings, and they are like I can touch rim on a basketball hoop, and there's no way I could touch the top.
And
Like
yet-
if you asked me to grab something off the top, there's just no possible way I could get
that
up
was
there.
you standing on level ground trying to touch the top of the landing, and these trails were like dug down into the ground, like in between them, the transitions and the next lip, they went down between like 4 to 6 feet, like below grade. So it's it's taller than you can reach and touch, plus additional 4 to 6 feet that you're coming up into them. And they're huge, but look sweet, but something I would probably never hit.
The first couple looked okay, but there was like the first jump looked pretty manageable, but it was like there was a drainage ravine of sharp rocks in between it that is just the whole mental mind F of making yourself go down the hill, down a step down, and then hit this gap jump over this ravine of a cheese shredder.
There's probably 2 jumps in there. I'm like, I could hit those, but the problem is they're in the middle of the line. There's no possible way for me to ever get to them without hitting bigger stuff that I'd never touch.
There was a wild shark fin.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy looking. Pretty wild, for sure.
But yeah, between going that and then we ran into a dude, uphill Will, at Hancock Hollow. He was cool, and we ended up talking at the top until it was darn near too dark to go down the hill.
We talked about 2 minutes too long.
Yeah, the last run Nick and I did, we were like talking like, yeah, it's like starting to kind of get dark, and I'm like, yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock, and then the last time we went down, like, as soon as we got into like the tree coverage and like first turn, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I'm wearing a clear lens right now because even with this, I can barely see anything.
So dark, I put it in the bushes.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, what, 20 minutes before we came down?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was a little ways, yeah, a little bit.
we could see the lights clearly in the start hub. But, yeah, all in all, that was a pretty sweet day.
Yeah, that rounded out the day.
I'm definitely tired.
It only rained very briefly, and the trails all drained well enough to ride everything we wanted
Yeah,
to
it was
ride.
like Hand-Cut Hollow, like it didn't even seem like it got rained on.
No, that's a good
like,
point.
It was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I didn't even see a puddle anywhere.
There was,
Yeah, there's like some damp spots on the climb trail, I guess, but I mean,
I think like those are always there.
yeah, yeah, from just runoff and stuff, yeah.
The 300% humidity today.
Yeah, it was definitely humid there.
I rode whatever the what is it, the body machine? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rode that when it's like basically just a rock armored trail, and that one there was a few spots that were pretty slick, but when you get a bunch of flat rocks like that, I mean it's kind of inevitable. Even if it is dry, they can still be slippery. So, but yeah, other than that, it was solid.
I mean, we thought we weren't going to ride at all, and we rode hours.
Yeah, I mean, as dead as my legs were, I rode Interplanet Janet more than I thought I would. But like, I love that trail, so it's kind of easy to just ride it anyways, even if I feel like crap. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the weather for tomorrow, and there's really no point because it's not going to be right. So
Yeah, it claims rain all day, and it also claimed rain all day today, and it didn't do that. So. I mean,
ideally,
I think even when the day we got down here, wasn't it supposed to rain?
Yeah.
I don't know. but-
Yeah.
And
we didn't think we were going to ride the first day, and we got
Yeah.
to, and then we didn't think we'd
Yeah.
ride the next day, and we got to, and then we didn't think we'd ride.
Yeah, I bet like this area, it's just probably like at any given time, there's a 25% chance of a thunderstorm just because of like the humidity and the temp changing and stuff, it's probably just like inevitable. But
Wasn't like Tornado Alley like right the state up above us?
dude,
It's where we
close,
are,
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
I
one
don't
of
think
yeah,
we're far.
I'd imagine that.
I mean, last year when we had the tornado, I was like looking up on the National Weather Service about it, and they had a thing about the tornadoes in Oklahoma and northwest, like Arkansas, and it went back like a month and a half from that date. And there's like, oh, since whatever, sometime at the beginning of April, there's been like 40 plus tornadoes in this general area. And I was like, oh, these must just be like common.
Yeah, I assume it just meant the weather here was out of control.
Yeah.
Like hit or miss, basically. Like,
Yeah.
It's hard to pin down, I guess, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, so ideally tomorrow, I'm hoping to do a cross-country ride with Andy in the morning, if it's dry, and see like some of the new Bella Vista Bike Park stuff over that way. And then we definitely need to ride from downtown into Slaughterpen just to ride down All American. Because I feel like that's like a rite of passage that we got to do, and like
Yeah.
check out the new Skills Park jumps if they're dry enough to ride.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because if those are open now, that would be cool. Cause
I'd like to check those out.
yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where tomorrow's our last day to ride, and we still have a whole lot of things we need to ride, and you just know you're not going to get it all in. That's like the biggest problem with coming down every time. Like, we've done so much, and there's
Yeah,
a whole lot we're just not going to do.
Yeah.
Even if we have all good weather tomorrow, there's only so much we're going to be able to ride.
Yep.
So,
Well,
But-
before we close it out, question for you: What's everyone's tick count as far as how many ticks they've found on them
0.
or in them?
in them? Yeah, I've had 0 that I know of. So
0 that I know of.
I had one on me that I brushed off.
Yeah, I just had one on my ankle. I picked it off before we hit up Handcut.
I had 2 on me the first day. I had 2 on me today and 1 in me today. I'm the winner. Where's my pecan pie?
dude, you can have it.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's all we got. Unless you guys have anything else. No, we'll check in again tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
If we don't ride till 10 o'clock at night at the rail.
Great.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. And remember, like always, to keep progressing, keep pushing yourself, and have fun. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.